Below us is Bladensburg, Maryland, which saw the start of a battle which is forever etched in the collective memory of Canada. The problem is, it didn't quite happen as our collective memory tells us. In the summer of 1814, during the War of 1812, the British launched what was called the Chesapeake Campaign. It all started with the Battle of Bladensburg on August 24th of that year. That battle has been called by some the greatest disgrace ever dealt to American arms. British forces routed the Americans, giving them a direct path to Washington, D.C., which was just 14 kilometers away. The British force was comprised of 4,500 battle-hardened men, fresh from the Napoleonic Wars in Europe. Not a group of Canadian militiamen, as is now recalled in the collective Canadian memory. When the British reached Washington, D.C., Major General Robert Ross gave the command to burn all public buildings. This included the White House, then called the Presidential Mansion, and the Capitol Building. The Treasury Building and the Department of War Building were also burned down, but there was next to no civilian casualties or damages. Ross did all he could to ensure private buildings were not torched. This was lessons learned during the Peninsular War in Spain. Less than 4 days after the burning of Washington began, a very heavy thunderstorm, which some have said was a hurricane, put out the fires. There was a problem. The ferocity of the storm ended up causing more damages. In the aftermath of the burning of Washington, President James Madison returned to Washington on September 1st. Congress would meet in the Post Patent Office until December of 1815. The Patent Building, the only government building in D.C. that was left untouched during the attack. Now, in Europe, most leaders condemned the burning of Washington, as while capital cities were routinely occupied during battles in that continent, they were almost always spared from destruction at the hands of the occupiers. The War of 1812 would continue for another 6 months. It would end with the Treaty of Ghent in February 1815. Below us is Bladensburg.